You gon' watch, you gon' pay attention, bitch. No, sit down and listen, bitch. Look.
I get in my feelings by my motherfucking bag. When shit ain't adding up, it can turn out bad. Blood boiling, vehicular homicide. I'ma crash. Got them bullets flying out like first class. Private parking, you get carried away in toe tag. Carrots in the face, cause I built a snowman. Look, had to go give me some bread, can't end up dead to go to the feds. Put my body full of these meds. If I think you're a rat, I'ma leave you on red. Number 2 person, got the wood by the leg. Gotta be smart if you wanna get paid. We ain't talking minimum wage, but 18 wheelers on the interstate. Ain't no telling what I'm finna make. Where them dollars at? Drop the location, I'ma show up. Accompanied by 2 twin blizzards, I ain't got no trust.
100 Mob in the building. Shout out to Dre Gambino, PSA 3. You already know, repping Baton Rouge, Louisiana, nigga. We gonna drop the link and we gonna community tab, nigga. You already know what it is with us, man. Now we wanna get in there. BBG Baby Joe. You understand what I'm talking about, man? Because as we know, you know what I mean, he out here, he trying to, you know, do his own thing out here, man, because we know things ain't, you know, going right with 4K Trey and the way, you know, people perceive him, you know, as of right now from that camp, man, because, you know, it's difficulties, man, and he speaks a lot about certain things in, you know, his new song or whatever the case may be. But one notable thing that I'm here to talk about is, you know what I mean, we didn't know that him and Jonah B was going through anything, you know what I mean? And they were at odds at the time, you know what I'm saying? And he mentions people was in both of their ear, you know what I mean? Now, him saying this, you know what I mean? I don't know if he can mean, you know, Spider Nation, you know what I mean? Because we done seen things outright with Baby Joe, you know what I mean, and Tech, you know what I mean, from Spider Nation, and then Main Music and Baby Joe, you know what I mean, never really seen eye to eye as well, you know what I mean, you know, and I don't think Main Music had no problem with him, you know, Baby Joe the other way around, but you know what I mean, Main Music come into play because this is like Jonah B right-hand man, and we don't know if the arguments and complications dealt with that alone, you know what I'm saying, because we heard about Benji B, which is BBG Tyler Daddy, you know what I mean, getting into it with Main Music, you know what I mean, and, you know, having him stuck in the car, you know what I'm saying, allegedly from what Uncle Bane put out, you know what I'm saying, and research shows or whatever. But, you know, the one-on-one conversations that I had with, you know, Main, you know what I mean, he never mentions even having a real run-in with Benji B, and it was all fabricated, you know what I'm saying. But back on topic, you know what I mean, I was up on the interview and, you know, online with Top Cat 100. That's my interview section. For those who don't know, y'all need to go there, check out the Boosie Boy B, you know what I mean? And y'all will see what Jonah B play a part in, you know what I mean, Crowd and Yoshi, you know what I mean? And wanting to really get it on when he was locked up, because Boosie B told this story about getting locked up and, you know what I mean, him and Jonah B back there and how him and Yoshi got into it. And when Yoshi tried to get into it, Jonah B, you know what I mean, wanted to, you know what I mean, keep rumbling, you know what I'm saying? He wanted Yoshi to check off. He was one of the main ones, you know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, I mean, a lot of people really cared about, you know, Jonah B, and Boosie Boy B mentions that, you know what I mean, Jonah B was, you know what I mean, you know, really adamant about protecting Main Music, and he was pro Spider Nation. He was like another leg, you know, to the whole ordeal, because he was repping Spider Nation as well. And that's the thing people don't understand about, you know, Jonah B, and maybe where him and Baby Joe, you know, came to bump heads at, because I mean, we got all these different situations with BBG Block saying that Tech was friendly when he was back there behind the ball with him and stuff like that, and he could have, you know, almost, you know what I mean, I don't know. I don't even want to say the rest of what BBG Block said about Tech or whatever, because it's crazy, you know what I'm saying, as a man. But at the end of the day, you know what I mean, he did say some things about Tech when, you know, her and the Black Sheep and Tech was going through it. So it's already a mix-up in that situation, you know what I mean? And like I said, when we talk about Baby Joe and we talk about Jonah B, the things that led up to Jonah B could be contributed to the things that, you know, happened that Boosie Boy B described inside the interview. We don't know for sure. A lot of people say P.Y. Youngin had something to do with it. They lured them back and all this. Man, I don't know what's really going on, because even they repping for Jonah. So it's like, man, we don't understand what's going on. But like, we're gonna let you hear what he said about Jonah, and then we're gonna continue like that.
We gotta get it on. I had some words with my cousin, then he left, he gone. I played my part bad, nigga, I did him wrong. I should've manned up, highlight him one-on-one. But we had niggas in our ears, so we wasn't hearing nothing. Too much pride, and I stole a gun and started a war by
Man, let's go ahead on and rewind back to September of this year. Baby Joe ran into some situations where he had an out-of-state warrant or whatever the case may be, and hopefully he got past that or whatnot. But why this is not mainly about none of that, you know what I mean, as far as the charges and stuff like that. It's not about, this ain't what the video about. It's about understanding where, you know what I mean, they put out, you know what I mean, in that information about where he was at and, you know, what was going on. And in the video, when I did something about him getting caught, if y'all ended up watching it or whatever the case may be, y'all go back and revisit it, I say in there that they say his area, you know what I mean? And that's the thing of what he was and, you know what I mean, what state, what city and all of that. So it's important for Baby Joe, you know what I mean, to not end in a situation to where he's stuck in the bottom or he's stuck anywhere, you know what I mean, around the vicinity of Louisiana at this point. And like I said, it's a lot of people looking for him to slip up, you know, when he thinks that the radar is off him or whatever. I mean, he's still a commodity when it comes to 4K Trey, but we got to say that even though it's difficulties within 4K Trey, him repping for Jonah B always bring him back to his BBG roots. You know what I mean? And at the end of the day, a lot of people didn't like Jonah B. A lot of people love Jonah B. But at the end of the day, it's not going to really stop people from really understanding this situation or trying to get to the bottom of it even, because a lot of people don't understand where all of this come from and where all the rumors in the streets come from. So when Baby Joe go out here and he addresses Jonah B and addresses situations of them having arguments and bumping heads, everybody's going to always date it back to main music or date it back to tech, because these are the notable people that, you know, Baby Joe was at odds with or whatever the case may be, that had, you know, pivotal part in Jonah B, you know, as far as when he was alive and well and things like that and out here, because he was around Spider Nation. You know what I mean? Now, Tech didn't know Jonah B like that. You know what I'm saying? But main music did. You know what I'm saying? So when I say Jonah B, I'm not trying to mix Tech in with that situation, but what I'm saying is Tech is Spider Nation. You know what I'm saying? And everybody had disagreements with Baby Joe came from Spider Nation. So what else was they bumping heads about, really? Like, what really transpired for them to be at odds and for them to not really be around each other and stuff like that? And if Baby Joe was around them, would that even make a difference in the outcome of what happened? Because Jonah B was out here really stepping and really doing his own thing. So with Baby Joe sitting up here and he's everywhere and, you know what I mean, he ducking in and out. So it's like, you know, they won't talking. This happened. What y'all think, man?